Hello YouTube, this is Travis Dunn with MDL, and this is my vlog for Sunday, February 28th, 2016. So there have been a few things that I've been kind of holding out on, talking about for different reasons. One of them happens to be talking about Nemesis, my desktop computer. It's been up and down, and I have talked about it quite a bit. It's one of the reasons why I've been kind of doing these besides just time constraints. But I've also I've recently got it rebuilt, got it put back together. I've been doing some tweaking, some reconfiguration of some stuff. But I did some upgrades in the last few weeks, pretty much just prior to when I kind of stopped doing vlogs for a few weeks. So as most of you know, I had to, for the third time, send my Corsair power supply back. So that was a very frustrating thing that I've been having to deal with. It seems like one right after another kept failing. And I didn't know this until I really started to research it after pretty much the second time that it failed, that this power supply had known problems. And I was experiencing those known problems pretty much through the entire last 6 or 8 months that I've owned this specific style of power supply. So I paid for the first return shipping. They did on the second time pay for the return shipping, and on the third time I had shipped the power supply. But upon that, after I shipped, I had said, you know, please double check the power supply you're going to send me. I really need my machine up and running. And I just, you know, I've almost doubled the cost of what I purchased this 6 months ago. They had to turn around and sent me a prepaid label, but at that point it was already too late. And I said, I appreciate it, but I've already sent it. It's on its way. You should see it in a few days. It was a very quick turnaround, but shipping wasn't, of course. It seems like, I don't know what it is with UPS shipping, but if you're not doing the 2-day shipping, they take their sweet freaking time. And I have the same problem whether I'm doing Amazon, Corsair, whatever. I mean, I don't know why it takes a solid week or more to get from California to my house. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. But anyway, upon return, I found out that they sent me a different power supply this time. And the exact model number is eluding me at this point. I am going to do a review on this particular one. It's like 850, 860 watts. This is one of their Corsair linked power supply. It does 3 or 4-way SLI ability, though I would never even remotely come close to that. And so far, I've been very happy with it. It was almost $160, $170 power supply that they sent me this last time around. And so far, I've had no problems. It powers up, it powers down. The power readings are good. Like I said, it has what's known as Corsair Link, which is kind of their digital interface for their different piece of equipment. It's something new that they've done in the last year or so, and it allows different parts of their products to basically talk to a piece of software that gives you, you know, tells you, you know, how much, like on the power supply, it tells me how much power I'm using, what the efficiency rating is, and all that good stuff. Like I said, I will be doing a review at some point here in another, maybe a month or so. But so far, like I said, I've been real happy. In the midst of that, I did go ahead and I got myself a new keyboard mouse. It is a Cooler Master, and it's backlit. It's a gaming keyboard mouse, but it is not it's not RGB lighting. It's blue, and it is not a full-on mechanical. It is still membrane, but it has a bit of a feel of a mechanical in a way, the way the keys are, the size of the keys and the travel, which took a little getting used to because I've really not used one that style in quite a while. but I am enjoying it quite a bit, and it's a good solid, wired keyboard and mouse. The only strange thing is the light on, light out button is the scroll lock, and I don't know why they didn't put a dedicated button, because sometimes if you're, and I haven't run into this yet, but if you're in certain programs and you hit the scroll button, it won't, certain things won't happen, or it'll cause funny things to happen. So the other thing I did was I kind of bit the bullet, and I bought a Noctua fan, 120 millimeter. Again, the model number's eluding me. I will end up doing somewhat of a review of it. But it's extraordinarily quiet. I pretty much took every other fan. All I have is a CPU fan, and I couldn't be happier. That machine is now very quiet. I almost can't hear the fan run, and and it was never a debate of the quality or the audio output, the sound output of that fan. Everybody's highly reviewed it, and but in the same boat, I wish they would make different colored fans, or black fans. It is that kind of I'll call it tan. Tan's about the only way I can describe it. And they do make them. They're just a little harder to come by. Recently I saw a video where Linus Tech Tips, they had done Noctua had done a special black with orange accent, basically, for their logo colors. And they finally got those back in stock for a limited time. And I'd love to pick up that, but frankly, I got enough orange in my life. I don't need any more orange. So, and not really that I have the money to really spend anymore for now. So, and I also did go ahead and get a new 3 terabyte hard drive. I was having a little bit of space issues on my, let's call it my data drive. It's pretty much anything that wasn't basic operating system, that didn't, like my Steam account is on that drive. My documents are on that drive. My photos are on that drive. I have backup copies on another drive, but that was my primary access drive. And before, I only had a 1 terabyte, and I was basically in about 900 gigabyte section of that. Excuse me. So I've been doing that, and I've basically took apart my son's machine, put it back together, so it's running real good. I had recently, and I may have talked it in a vlog, I don't remember if I have, I managed to get him my brother got him a Q6600 in the LG 775, so he's now up to a quad core, which is great. I took his processor. It's going into a small form factor machine that I have, that I am building to do emulation and stuff like that. That's going to be my emulation. Some of the other things that have happened, I have done some TV rearranging. I actually snagged my son's 40-inch out of his room because it will display 1080p on my desktop. So I basically now, on my desktop, I have a 40-inch TV to play games on, and 24 was just not enough. And I don't have the money to do the SLI right now that I wanted to do dual 24-inchers. So this is where I'm going to go for now. I've got some plans, maybe sometime this year, maybe first next year, of actually going for a full 1080p 140 hertz gaming monitor, if I can find one in the right size that I want. Obviously it's not color accurate using the TV, but man, is it a whole lot better to play. Very immersive, especially because it's only a few feet from me. I don't have to wear my glasses, so I can see everything. And I've been playing a lot of Armor 3, so having that full view and view distance is great playing that game. So that's been going on, and then I've had another little situation that recently go on. I'm not going to completely talk about it because there's some legal issues. I will say that my wife's niece, basically had to run away for a certain situation. We're in an attempt of trying to get emergency custody, but it has extraordinarily been difficult. For some reason, the police department says shouldn't be a problem, go to Children's Services. Children's Services basically says, well, we'll take a report, but there's really not a whole lot we can do. We have had to get the lawyer involved, and we're trying to work it out that way. Unfortunately, if this particular situation doesn't work out, we're going to have to just kind of wing it until she turns 18. She's only a few months away. The big issue is that she's in school, obviously. We have been working with some of her teachers to at least get it where she can, graduate and make her up her base classes, but she was in the nursing program, and there's just no way that we're going to be able to make that particular situation work, I think. Because right now we can't transfer schools or nothing like that. So that's a situation. I'll talk about it more when it's a little more laid out. But right now we're doing what we can to help out with her on that situation. So I have been talking about in several vlogs that I have been wanting to work out, that I've needed to go to the gym, mostly because I have had pretty significant weight gain. For many years, I fluctuated between 175, 185, then I got up to around 185, 195, and then I got around 200, and now in a very short period of time, I've pretty much went from 210, 215 to 230, actually 229 to be exact. I had already sort of planned on going to the gym or signing up for a gym, but I have finally, bit the bullet, made the decision, got signed up. Actually, I've been doing it for a few weeks now. Today I actually did my fourth visit. Because of the situation, as I talked earlier, I didn't go for about a week. But yesterday I did a very rigorous workout, roughly about 20 minutes, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it was a very vigorous workout. I'm a bit sore. I'm starting to feel a little bit better than when I first came into work, but I did it like almost right before I came into work. So actually, I'm hoping to go again today, and I'm enjoying working out. I will openly admit I do like working out. I've done it a little bit here and there over the years. I did it a lot when I was in high school. Obviously, I played sports, but my weight has become a problem. 229 pounds is completely unacceptable. I am happy to say in the last few weeks, so far, I've taken 4 pounds off, which I think is really good. Now, I'm not doing a full-on diet. I'm not doing that. I'm not, because I know that will just lead to failure. I'm not ready for that full-on eating salads every day, and but I have been adding. I've started adding fruit juices to my regimen. I've been drinking some orange juice. I've been drinking. I have this orange banana strawberry juice that I like really well. And I've also been doing lemonade, especially at home, trying to cut out some of my soda drinking. And at work, I've made it a point to take 1 bottle of water and make sure that somewhere throughout the night I drink the bottle of water. So I'm kind of working it. I'm trying to avoid the sweets, which is really hard for me. I'm a chocolate person, I will openly admit. I also, I like my sodas. I have been trying to drink some sweet tea, but I haven't actually had much luck with that. Seems like everywhere I go to get a damn sweet tea, it's marked sweet tea. It doesn't taste like there's a damn bit of sugar in it. It happened to me today. I went to Jersey Mike's right after I work out and figured I'd get a healthy sub, just some turkey, plain cheese, just a little bit of mayo, lettuce, tomato, and and I got a small portion. I ate half a little bit after my workout. I actually finished at the half here at work, and but I am trying to watch my portion control. I think that's a big thing. I've been I eat and do very little work, which is where working out for me should hopefully have significant results. So 4 pounds is good. I'm really wanting to get down to the 200-ish range. Love to get below that. I mean, I remember a time when, man, being under 200 pounds was great. I had a lot of energy, you know, and I've gotten none of that anymore. And I think it's also somewhat why I've been slow to start the whole YouTube thing. But I kind of said I was taking my time with it. It's an experiment, just kind of playing with it. And I've been, you know, I have the SD project, which is my actual YouTube channel that I'm doing something other than vlogs. I did a keyboard mouse review, which has jumped to almost 500 views. I can't believe it has. My Origins game fair from last year, I think it's got about 150 views. And I posted here, and I mentioned it in my last vlog, about the EasyRider Rodeo, the bike show. And actually, we'll skip to that since we're kind of jumping into that. So I did this video. It's already got a decent number of views. I want to say like 35-ish as of this video. This video didn't turn out exactly the way I want. There were some editing issues I'm having. I'm having some problems with Adobe not letting me do some cropping and stuff. And you kind of see where there's like some black bars that come in. I have a hood, and I think I may have shown on the camera. I have this little hood to kind of help keep glare and stuff out of it. But when the image stabilization kicks in and it kind of shifts the lens a little bit, it catches the edges of that hood. So from now on, I'm going to have to use it without the hood, or I may have to cut the hood a little shorter, which I don't kind of want to do. But anyway, I'll talk about this. I kind of had planned on talking about this in a different order, but we'll jump in and I'll talk about this. So me and my stepdad went. He called me and said, "Hey, I got tickets. You want to go?" I said, "Absolutely." You know, it was really the only reason why I didn't want to go, because it was like $25 for one day, and so I was like, "Let's go." And I'm like, "I'm down." So he came up. We went. And it was probably one of the biggest disappointments I could have had with this show. There was 50, maybe 60 bikes. Anybody that has been to Origin Game Fair, and I know it's kind of hard at Columbus Convention Center, there's different rooms, if you will, and they basically took up one room. And you kind of see as I pan across kind of how big that room was. It's big, but it's not what I expected for the EasyRider Bike Show. I expected one section of that to be just bikes, literally nothing but bikes. And you know, in that, I was really expecting more vendors and all that. It was very, very odd. I think Milwaukee Leather was there, which, you know, does some really nice like leather jackets and chaps and riding wear. But it was a couple of almost like, I'll call them flea market-ish type places that sell a variety of stuff. But there was no big names. I expected, like Curiok and Alien S, Vance and Hines. I've seen other videos from these events, and for whatever reason, these did not have none of those type of vendors. Geico was there giving out some freebie stuff, and I'm always up for the freebie stuff. And don't get me wrong, there were some nice bikes, but I kind of expected, like I said, a whole one of those rooms filled with bikes. I figured it'd be the big bike, the big name, kind of like West Coast Chopper type of, OCC type of bike building stuff. I also expected there would be the local bikes, the antique bikes, and there was a little bit of a hodgepodge of different stuff, but it was never the kind of level of a show that I expected. Looking back, because I didn't realize that the very next weekend, is Daytona Bike Week. And to me, it seems like it's too early, but apparently it's basically the first week of March. But it starts up this following weekend, which is the week after the EasyRider show. So I know for a fact that all those big companies, that I talked about are all probably there, obviously for Bike Week. And, because they're going to be there and they're going to say, all right, you want new exhaust? Bring it up. We'll put it on. They'll be doing that stuff on hand because they're gonna money. And with bikes, man, can you spend some money? And speaking of bikes and money, I recently, well, actually that last weekend, I went and basically went and got me after we got done with the show, and me and my stepdad kind of had the same feeling. It was an okay show, but thank goodness we didn't pay the money. It wasn't worth the $25 that they were charging for one day's event. You could have walked it in an hour, maybe an hour and a half tops, and that's if you're really nitpicking, looking at everything. So, but anyway, him and I went to Iron Pony. I picked up a set of saddlebags. Oh gosh, what are those things called? Basically, straps. I'll call them straps. But they're just designed to keep the saddlebag from rubbing against things, give something to lace it down to. And I think it'll, when I do put the saddlebags, whether it's the ones that I used from last season, or whether I end up getting a new pair of saddlebags. And I'll be honest, I almost bought a set at the show. Kind of wish I did. They only wanted $100. It was just a fair bit smaller than the ones I have. The ones I have are just a little bit bigger than I really, really like. But I have decided they have to be big enough to put my helmet in. That's what I want. I want them big enough to slide my helmet in. If I can slide my helmet in, I can throw some gear in the other one. I'm good. That's what I want. That's what I want in the saddlebag. And I plan on doing some stuff to the bike. I didn't shoot a video for this. I probably kind of should have, but I took a couple of pictures of it on there, and that was pretty much it. They're not real hard to install. The biggest frustration I had was getting the ass end of the bike jacked up, so because you actually attach it to one side of the shocks, and once you let the shock loose, you got to get it all lined back up, and so you got to get tension off the rear end to get that lined up. For anybody that has to, decides they want to do that. But that's there are other things I want to do to that bike. I want to get new risers. I'd like to get a new set of saddlebags. I'd like to get some new foot pegs. I got to get that headlight adjusted. It's something horrible. It's going to be sick. That was the thing. Last weekend was really nice. There was a lot of bikes out, a lot of biker gangs considering the size of the show. Or biker clubs, I should say, would be the proper term. Motorcycle clubs. There was a lot of different groups there, and they must be doing some other stuff, and maybe they're having their own little get-togethers and parties or whatever. But like I said, I plan on doing some stuff on my bike. I'm thinking about. I'll be honest, I'm thinking about plasti dipping it. The orange is okay, but it's not a great paint job, and the orange stands out. I will admit that, but I kind of want something different, and I'm really, really back and forth about plasti dipping the tins. I really, really am thinking about pulling the wheels, plasti dipping those black, or a real nice gunmetal gray if there's such a color. I'm sure there is, but that way it's not permanent. It's just something that'll look good. And there's some other stuff that I'd kind of like to maybe shoot it black, because I really don't like chrome, and I know I got a lot of chrome on that bike. But also talking about bikes, my stepdad has been kind of looking at the possibility of getting another bike. He sold his sort of the end of last year, and I think it was kind of a good thing. That bike was in rough shape. It needed a lot of work, and bikes are expensive. That's the thing that drives me nuts. Like, I could buy foot pegs, a battery cover, foot pegs, battery cover, and something else. What was it? Foot peg, battery cover. Yeah, there was like three things that I had. I was checking like JP Cycles, and those three things was like $160. It was just like, Jiminy Christmas. And it was, you know, like I said, it was pegs. It was grips, a set of grips. I don't even think it was a set of pegs. And then the battery cover. But yeah, it was it is so expensive for some of this stuff, and I don't care for chrome, so like you know, less chrome is more. Here's a picture of the one my stepdad's looking at. It's got a kind of a color shift paint. It looks kind of brownish to me with a really high metallic in it, but like the whole engine's got metallic on it. It's all kind of trimmed out in roughly that same paint. I'd want to see the paint up close. I can say from the pictures, and the pictures probably don't do it justice, but I'm not crazy about the brownish, that brownish color. But like I said, I can't say I've not looked it up close, but kind of reminds me of those 70s style, like if it had a big old long front Springer rake front end. I mean, that's what it reminded me of. You know, we call it like the Rat Fink style of bikes, you know, with the ape hangers and stuff like that. But my stepdad's excited about it, and he honestly he said it, you know, because it was late on Saturday when somebody brought this up to his attention, and somebody he knows, somebody he trusts. You know, I hope it's a good bike. It's a little older. It's an 89 1200. So him and I be rolling about the same, you know, in the same horsepower range. It's been converted to belt drive. I don't know. That was the only thing that he didn't know for sure, and I didn't. You know, I was questioning whether or not it was a 4-speed or 5-speed. He was thinking it was a 5-speed, but he's not 100% sure. But I don't blame him for buying a bike. Like I said, he likes it, and it's kind of his era style a little bit more with the kind of flashy paint and the, you know, and the ape hangers aren't way up. It looks like they're kind of medium. I'm kind of interested in riding, and I'm kind of curious what the ape hangers feel like when you're riding. And but you know, I'm sure as soon as I get around to down there on a nice day, he's gonna hand me the keys and say, "Let's go." I'm kind of hoping I can come up on the very first nice day and you know, and take it for a ride. You know, we'll swap bikes and go. I want to ride. I enjoy riding. I want to get a windshield for my bike. You know, I've got some things I want to do, but I want to go on I want to go on a road trip. That's what I want to do. Even if it's like a 3-day weekend. We'll start out like on a Friday, go a couple of 200 or 300 miles one way, hit some stops along the way, you know, turn around and come back, be back on a Sunday. You know, I'd love to go to a big bike show. I'd love to go to Sturgis, love to go to Daytona Bike Week, maybe Myrtle Beach. You know, the EasyRider Rodeo that happens in Chillicothe is cool for what it is, and I most likely will go again this year. Probably take some video, but that video probably won't make it on YouTube. If it does, it'll be I'll have to mark it up as an age-restricted video and do some serious like blurring stuff out and things like that. But I don't know. I'll debate that. But I mean, the ST project's moving along. Like I said, that was the first real super video that I did with the bike show. I'm going to the International Auto Show, which is just all the local dealers bring all their bikes, stolen bikes. Brings all the cars in, and so we're gonna go. Me and Doc's gonna go. I've got plans to shoot lots of video. Speaking of shooting, I was pleased with the camera. I had actually hooked up my lav mic to it, but for some reason the audio didn't come through, and I wasn't really planning on using any audio necessarily, but I thought I'd see how it worked. Relatively speaking, the camera shot well. The video looks good. Like I said, I can't use the hood when I'm running a gun and shooting, so I won't be using that for that. I'll stick with that when I'm like at home or I'm doing still tripod shots. So that'll be something. It's just a learning process. But the battery, I had one of the new batteries. Shot the entire couple of hours, I think, worth of video roughly that I had the camera at least on for about 2 hours. So no problem there. And of course I have 3 others plus the OEM battery. So far I'm liking those batteries. and I'll kind of talk about more about those whenever those kind of come along. So for now, I think that's going to be it. Like I said, I'm gonna go out and work out today. I'm looking forward to get off of work. It's been a long week. It's been a very busy week. I kind of wish I could talk about what I do and the kind of things that I deal with. But unfortunately for security reasons, I can't talk exactly. I'll just say that we move freight for a lot of different companies. We move freight for a very large automotive-ish company. Like I said, I can't say exactly who, but I'll just say it somewhat involves my interest. But anyway, that's where I'm going to end the vlog today. I hope everybody has a great day, has a great week, and I will catch you later.